Hi guys, welcome back to the Crumbs and Joyleys kitchen here in Wandsworth and to the Cupcake Jemma YouTube channel with me, Dane, and
me, Sally.
we're back baking together, but not cookies this time, it's cupcakes. Because you know what? It's been a while since we did a cupcake recipe for you guys, so it's what we're going to do today.
It's what we're going to do today, and we have made so many cupcakes over the days, months, years, our lifetimes, and you can find so many of them here on the Cupcake Jemma channel. So check out the playlist in the description box below, and it can kind of become a little bit hard to create new flavours. So today we're going to show you everything that is inside Dane's brain.
In my noggin. There's a lot going on in there. I don't know if you want to know.
I don't know if you want to get that deep in there, but this is going to be an amazing cupcake made up of all his favourite things, and we want to know what your favourite things are so that we can maybe try and create a cupcake flavour of those as well. So let us know in the comments box below, because we really want to know what's inside your brains. And whilst you're there, make sure that you have subscribed to our channel. Give us a like, because it really helps to spread the Cupcake Jemma news across YouTube. So today, the cupcake, I'll tell you what it is, shall I? It is going to be, here we go, a banana, burnt butter, caramelised white chocolate cupcake with a cinnamon and chocolate pie crumb.
That's it. That's the one. And if you might have seen, if you're subscribed to our bake club, me doing a little bit of testing about this cupcake and like the behind the scenes. So if you want to know more about that and like see the behind the scenes, then go over to patreon.com/cupcakejemma. You can get all the extra good stuff there.
Yes. So it's a little bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
And it hasn't really got a name.
We don't have a name, but we're going to put it to you guys. Leave a comment in the comments box below what you think this cupcake should be called, and we'll pick the winner.
Yay!
We'll change the title of the video, I'm sure, pretty sure.
So there's a lot to crack on with, which is why Dane has roped me into this. I've got some banana caramel on the go, so we better go and check it out.
Yeah.
All right? Put me to work. Here we go. Come on. All right, so this banana caramel is going to be used to fill our cupcake. So it needs to be saucy, and we don't want it to set all hard and sticky. So we're going for a wet caramel as the base. So in my saucepan here, I have got, I'm not going to touch it because it's really hot, I've got 225 grams of caster sugar or granulated sugar and 125 mils of water. And I've just got them kind of bubbling and boiling away. I'm not stirring it because I don't want it to crystallize. And we're just going to wait till it gets to a lovely amber color. In the meantime, we're going to whiz up some banana. My favorite thing, as you all know, it's not my favorite thing. Anyway, I've got one sort of medium-sized banana here, and for this, you really need it to be quite an old banana because that's when you get the most flavor out of them. If you're baking with bananas, you really want them to be this or even worse. It just keeps going near my face, just the smell. It's a delicious cupcake, don't let me put you off. Anyway, we're going to whiz this up because we want the caramel to be nice and smooth. It's not really like the sponge where you can get away with a few kind of lumps and chunks in there. We want this to be smooth. So I've got a little food processor here, but don't worry, you don't need to have one of these. You can just mash it with a fork or a potato mash or something. But I'm just going to pop this on. It's really loud. There we go. So we're just going to leave this to one side. I've also got 225 mils of double cream here, so that's thick cream. If you're in the States, something with a really high fat content. And we've just got to wait for our sugar and our water to get to that gorgeous amber color. There we go. So this is looking gorgeous and amber. That took somewhere between kind of 5 and 10 minutes. It always just depends on your pan and your hob and stuff, so just go by the color. So we're taking that off and very quickly and very carefully dumping in our banana mush. There we go. As you can see, it steams a lot, so just make sure you've got a nice big spoon. I'm going to stop to my wooden spoon whilst I pour in my double cream. You can pour a little bit in, give it a really good stir until those bubbles have kind of subsided, and then you can pour in a little bit more cream. And then eventually you can just chuck in the rest. And it does smell really good. And it's looking gorgeous. So now what we're going to do is just pour it into a bowl. to leave it to cool down.
Oh my God, that smells amazing. So now it's time to make the banana cupcake sponge. So I've got 125 grams of really soft unsalted butter going into my mixer, fitted with a paddle attachment. And then I've got some really ripe bananas. So you'll need 125 grams. That's about 2 small bananas. And you want them to look like this, kind of a bit bruised. And you know when you go to school and your mum packs a banana and you leave it in your bag all day, you forget, and then the next day happens and you forget, and then the next day happens and you forget, and then you eventually, it's like mush. Well, just before that, that's kind of what they'll look like. So we'll just peel these, and what I'm gonna do before, we're not gonna beat it all together like we would a regular cupcake sponge. I'm gonna pop these in a bowl and just give them a little bit of a mash just so they break up a little bit. And then we're gonna beat it with the butter. And we're doing this because banana is quite like a heavy, starchy fruit, and beating it with the butter just adds a little bit more air in there and makes it not quite a dense, heavy sponge. So I'll just mash them up a tiny bit, and then we'll get these in the mixer and get it whipping onto a high speed for about 5 minutes until it's really pale and fluffy. This has been whipping for about 5 minutes now, and you can see it's like lighter in colour. You can still see the banana bits, and it's kind of really whipped up. It's nice and pale and fluffy. So we'll go in with all our other ingredients. So at this stage, it's like our regular cupcake batter, and we'll just do the all-in-one method. So I have some caster sugar and some light brown sugar. The light brown sugar just adds a little bit of a caramelliness to it. So that is going all in there. And then I've got 2 eggs, 2 large eggs going straight in. And then I've got some self-raising flour, 140 grams. And if you want all of the quantities, they'll be in the description box below and also over on our Bake Club. Sift that in, and also rounded 1/4 teaspoon of bicarb and just a little pinch of salt as well. There we go. So let's go back on the mixer and mix it on a low speed, and then we'll crank it up to a high speed for about 30 seconds. Then we'll slow the mixer down and add 2 tablespoons of whole milk. And crank it back up again. It's ready. So we'll lift this up, take the paddle off, and give the bowl a really good scrape down, and then it's time to pop it into our cupcake cases. So I've just got a 12-hole cupcake pan here, which I'm gonna line with our cupcake cases. You can get these on cupcakejemma.com. Funny story, I used to order these years ago on our website, and I've still got the little tags we used to send with them at home, so I'll bring those in one day, yeah? Show you all. Vintage, exactly. So I'm just gonna use 2 big spoons, and we'll fill these a little over 2/3 full because the banana is a little bit denser. You just need to put a little bit more batter in there to help with the rise. All filled up. So now it's time to bake them. I've preheated the oven to 175 degrees Celsius, and these will go in for about 18 to 20 minutes, and I'll give them a little check to see if they're done.
Ooh, those are looking great. So now my job is to make the cinnamon and chocolate pie crumb, which is going to go around the edge of our cupcake, and it's going to give it a really lovely crunch, so a little bit of texture, and also it's going to be a little bit kind of bitter because we're going to use black cocoa, and that's going to cut through the kind of sweetness of the overall cupcake, which is super duper sweet but delicious. So a crumb we've made a few times on the channel before. It's really, really easy. Not much skill involved, which is great, which is probably why he's given it to me. How rude. Anyway, what we're going to do is put all our dry ingredients into a big bowl first. So I've got 100 grams of caster sugar. Again, you can use granulated sugar. And then I've got 45 grams of both plain flour and black cocoa powder. If you can't get black cocoa powder, just go for regular cocoa powder. The black cocoa is just so cool though, because it looks wicked and also it is a little bit kind of bitter and it is so delicious. And then I'm gonna pop in about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then in here, I've got 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder and 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. So they're gonna go in together. I'm just gonna mix these just to combine it all into one kind of dry mix. And then we are gonna pour in some liquid, starting with 40 grams of vegetable oil. You can use any kind of oil here. Just make sure it's flavorless. Something like an olive oil will just kind of have an olivey flavor, which might not go so well with this, but it won't be the end of the world, don't worry. And then 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, as modeled here, which you can find on the Cupcake Jemma website, should you wish to buy some, which I think you probably do. So once all that's in, we're gonna start off by just bringing it together with a spatula or a wooden spoon until it kind of forms a bit of a dough. If it looks a little bit kind of too dry and crumbly, then you can add in a little splash of water. But this is looking pretty good. So now what I'm actually gonna do is use my hands, but I don't wanna get dirty hands. And I've kind of got long nails and this would look gross if I use my hands. So I'm doing it for your sake, people. We're gonna go in with our hands and we're just gonna kind of shuffle it through our fingers like this. Oh, and what we're aiming to achieve is some kind of nice, smooth little nuggets. And that is pretty much it. All we need to do now is bake it. So I've got a baking tray here lined with a little bit of greaseproof paper just so it doesn't stick. And I'm going to sprinkle my pie crumb nuggets across the baking tray. The oven is preheated to 170 degrees C, which is fan assisted, and I'm going to put these in for about 15 minutes so they go real nice and crisp.
Now it's time to make the buttercream. We are making burnt butter buttercream. So Sally has already made burnt butter Swiss before here on the channel. You can find that in the description box below. We'll put a link for that. But I'm just going to do regular buttercream with icing sugar. It's delicious, mouth-wateringly so good. So I've got some burnt butter here, which I already burnt. You can see the little flecks of burnt butter here on the bottom. It looks really cool. It's like a swirling galaxy of molten butterness, delicious golden nectarness. Anyway, and I put some butter in a pan on a medium-high heat until it starts to melt. It will go frothy and it will start to change to a really kind of nice amber brown color, and you'll start to see those flecks of burnt butter forming at the bottom. Keep stirring until it's a really nice deep color. Pour it into a bowl to cool down. And then you're left with this. So leave it to cool at room temperature or pop it in the fridge, but either way you need to make sure it's nice and soft before you start using it, just like regular butter. So I'll pop this into the mixer. And then I've also got some just normal unsalted butter as well, just to balance out the flavor, because if you just used all burnt butter, I think it would be too intense. And I love a lot of flavor, but there's a lot of flavor. So I'll pop this in. And if you've never seen how we make buttercream here on the channel before, I'll just give you a little quick explanation if you're new to the Cupcake Jemma channel. We're going to whip the butters up until they're really nice and pale and light and fluffy. That way you'll get a really nice smooth buttercream that's not heavy and claggy. That is looking brilliant. It's nice and pale and fluffy. Got lots of air whipped into that. This is going to be a delicious icing. So I'm just going to give it a scrape down, and I gave it a scrape down halfway between it was mixing too, just to get all of that butter incorporated. So now I've got my icing sugar, which I've already sifted, and I'm just going to add half now and beat it really, really well. So once you've got the icing sugar in, just keep it on a low speed until it's mostly combined, and then crank it up to a high speed and whip it for about 3 to 5 minutes. That is all incorporated. Now let's get the last bit of icing sugar in, and we're ready to whip again. And I think my cupcakes are nearly done. So get that all in. There we go. Oh, they're done. So I'll get this whipping on a slow speed, and when I come back, it'll be ready. Okay, let's check them. Whoop. They look great. And when you give a little push, they spring back. That means they're done. They smell delicious as well. Let's get the icing cranked up and then finish this off. That is all whipped up and ready. So you can probably see it's gone a little bit drier than like regular buttercream. That's okay, we're gonna loosen it up with some whole milk. I'm gonna add a couple of tablespoons, and it's always a bit touch and go with milk. Just add as much as you need. I'm gonna go with 3. So we'll get this mixing on a slow speed, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. That just brings out the flavour of the burnt butter. It really complements it well. I'm gonna go with 1/4 teaspoon, and then vanilla extract as well. That really complements it and adds a little bit more sweetness as well. Go with 1/2 teaspoon, and then we'll crank it back up. And does it need any more milk? I'm gonna add a tiny bit more milk, another tablespoon, and then we'll whip it again for another 3 to 5 minutes.
Hello, my crumbs are baked.
They look great.
Yay!
Nice.
Thanks, boss. Cool, so that's everything ready then?
Yep, icing ready, cupcakes ready, crumb ready. Just need to wait for it to cool down.
Alrighty, so I'll go sit on our nice pink sofa. You do some cleaning up. Yeah? Yeah.
Okay. Then.
Alrighty, we'll see you in a bit once everything's cooled. Have fun. Hello.
We're back.
We've got everything ready to go. Everything's cooled down. So I've got the caramel here in a piping bag. We've got our beautiful little cupcakes that are lovely and cool, smelling great, looking great.
Nice. So if I chomp, do you want to fill?
I certainly do.
Fabulous. Let's go. Got a little apple corer, and we'll start chomping away.
It's gonna get messy with all our arms. You might get oh, okay. There we go. So just filling this up. Oh, look at it. Do you know what? I always think banana caramel is kind of, it's like stickier. Do you know what I mean? Like it's got such a good texture to it.
I think it's the starchiness from the banana. It just thickens it up and it's like gloopy, you know?
Like science. You sound like a scientist.
Yeah, I am a little bit.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Oh, we're gonna swap again.
Swapperoo. I'm gonna get the icing ready. And I've just got a reusable piping bag fitted with a large round nozzle. And I'll whack it all in here.
Both available from cupcakejemma.com.
Oh yeah. They are super handy. Like, just turn it inside out, wash it. You can put them in the dishwasher. There you go.
That buttercream looks amazing.
So good. It smells amazing too.
I've got quite a lot of caramel left, but that's all right. You can store this in the fridge for at least a week, and you can just put it on ice cream. You could make some more cupcakes. You could just do this.
Possibilities are endless. So we'll get to icing. So I'm going to ice these a little bit higher, like Sally did in the hot chocolate cupcake video. Just looks a little bit more decadent and show-stopping, and when we dip them, they'll look really, really cool. Fabulous, look at that. So these are going to go into the fridge to chill for about 15 to 20 minutes to just harden the icing and make it easier to dip, and the icing won't fall off.
And I'm just going to find something to do with this banana caramel. Alrighty, it is time to dunk. And we're going to dunk them in melted caramelized white chocolate, which, I mean, just look at it. It's just so beautiful. And if you haven't seen of it or heard of it before, it's basically white chocolate that you melt and you continue to melt it, stirring it every kind of 30 seconds or so in the microwave until it gets to this incredible colour. It kind of stiffens and you have to loosen it. It takes a little while, it's about kind of 20 to 30 minutes in total, but it's so worth it. We've done a couple of videos, one how to do it in the microwave and one how to do it in the oven. They're both on the channel. We'll put links to them in the description box below. You gotta do it. It will change your life. It kind of like cuts through the sweetness of it, doesn't it? It's just...
It does. I could just do this for hours and hours. I'm clearly very mesmerised.
But we got a job to do, so you are going to dunk first.
Yes. So these have been in the fridge and they're nice and solid, so I'm just going to dunk like this.
Oh my gosh.
And not all the way to the bottom. I've just left a little, and just let the chocolate drip off a little bit.
Oh, it looks so pretty and shiny. So now I have got the crumb that we made earlier, and I'm just going to kind of go around the edge, not to the top. And that's why we kind of ice them a little bit higher, so you get the peak kind of poking through. I love them. This is such a cool design. It's not like any other cupcake that we've made before.
That's very true. Thank you very much.
Classic Dane, that.
This is like my dream come true.
Wow, you're very easily pleased.
Small dreams, big dreams. This is one of my small ones.
Well, they look really awesome. I really love the design. They just look really different and they're kind of contrasty.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever. They look delicious. I think we should probably just eat them. Stop talking about what they look like. So,
yes.
now whenever I try and eat a cupcake, I never get to the middle because my mouth just isn't that big, you know? So I think I'm gonna cut this because also you guys need to see how cool this looks. So come in here. I got my big knife. Ready? What?
Ooh.
Oh my God, that looks awesome. That looks so cool. I love it when you dip it and it's all got like a nice little shell around the top.
That's really
Okay,
cool.
well I'm just gonna nibble.
And I'm just gonna eat it the proper way and take a huge bite.
Mmm.
Mm. Mm.
Dane.
But
Oh wow, that is amazing.
told you.
I love banana sponge. It's just so good. The caramel's like kind of taken such, it's really kind of deep. It gives you that kind of like bitterness, the sweetness.
Yeah. I love the crunch from the crumb. It's kind of salty too, and the bit of cinnamon in there really complements everything. You see the flecks of banana in the sponge. I don't think you'd be able to see so many flecks of banana if they weren't as ripe as they were, so it's super important.
And the buttercream.
Good, right?
Yeah, like the burnt butter just kind of cuts through the sweetness, like the caramelized white chocolate cuts through the sweetness too. Like,
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Works in harmony together.
Well done, you.
Thank you.
You got the job, you passed. Cool. Well, as usual, hang on.
Finish
Here we
that.
go. We're gonna make sure that these are in Soho this weekend because it's tradition. When we make a new cupcake, we put it in Soho. But I'm not sure the guys are gonna be like super happy about it because
I don't think so. So many elements and the crumb is like, you know.
So we're gonna make it a one-time thing only. These are gonna be in Soho this weekend, so Friday through to Sunday. Make sure you come down and grab yourself one of the yet-to-be-named cupcake.
Yes. And of course, this is my dream combo that I thought of in my head, but I want to know what your dream combination of cupcake would be. Put it in the comments, and maybe we'll be making that very, very soon. But also, don't forget to put a name suggestion because we really need to name these.
We really need to name them.
Make a sign, everything, it's like a whole thing. So please.
Cool, and you know, make sure you've joined us over on our Bake Club where you can see loads of behind-the-scene action, extra recipes, extra videos, as well as the full downloadable PDFs of all the recipes that we put here on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous place to be.
And I'll be back next week with a French buttercream recipe that I'll be filling some pistachio macarons with. So you do not want to miss that because it's going to be epic.
It's a double Dane week.
It's a double Dane week. Just, yeah, you'll enjoy it. I hope so, I promise.
Alrighty, well, we've got a lot of cupcakes to eat.
Yeah.
We've got a hungry little bunch of people over here.
Yeah.
They're all looking at these cupcakes.
I really want one of these.
You can't get them. No, I'm kidding, they can. Right, let's go.
Yeah.
Mmm. Oh my God, that's explicit.